Good evening. Are you guys excited to be here? Yes. My name is David.
I'm Mandy.
Yes. We are so thankful that you have come to join us tonight. We are the founders and publishers of Awakened Magazine, and we're just so thankful that you've come to join us. This is going to be an electric night. I got to tell you, you're going to go home and be like, I knew they should have come. I knew they should have come, right?
Exactly. It's going to be phenomenal. I mean, it's hard to top what we've already had today with all the vendors and the workshops and everything that's been going on. It's been fantastic. I'm still buzzing. I don't even know how I'm awake. It's just all this energy in here is so amazing. So thank you guys so much for being here. It's been incredible.
So I want to take just a moment before we dive into our first speaker, and just so you know what's going to happen tonight, I'm going to tell you in a second. Let me tell you, before we dive into that, there's several sponsors that I just want to recognize. One is Behind the Lids, which Mandy owns. Behind the Lids, but why don't you tell them what it is?
Oh, it's a healing collective studio right down the street here in Costa Mesa. It's a place to come and be in community, to heal, to grow, to expand. We do breath work, sound baths, different ceremonies, certifications, all kinds of things. So come check us out. BehindTheLids.com.
You can follow on Instagram Behind the Lids as well. Another sponsor for us is Aqua Harmonia. Where's Dylan and Keegan Brady? Where they are, right here. Yes. Thank you guys for being our hydration partner. I came up with that, hydration partner. You guys, the water was amazing. Thank you guys so much. You guys check that out at aqua-harmonia.com and find all that information. Another sponsor for us is our nonprofit sponsor, Gift Global Initiative. Mana Dobbleker couldn't be here tonight. She had a class that she had to go teach in Los Angeles. She does incredible work with children around the globe. So all of that information was it's on the website. It's been on emails. You can check it out. And then our presenting sponsor, which I want to draw special attention to, is Molly Burkett, Somatic Coaching. Molly's back there. Just go ahead and stand up. Give us a hi to Molly. Yes, and she's larger than life here on the banner, which is awesome. So good. So you can also see her in the back cover of our print edition here. So one of the things that she helps you with is understanding that through the body's wisdom, the mind finds freedom. Let me say that again. Through the body's wisdom, the mind finds freedom. All right, Molly's an incredible somatic coach, so I encourage you to check out her website, mollyburkett.com. That's right on the back of your print magazine. And of course, you've seen it on our website as well. So tonight, the reason why I wanted to invite you to experience this tonight is because for a lot of people, 2025 has been a little bit of a challenging year. Anybody? Right? And we talk a lot about in the spiritual community releasing what no longer serves you, right? And then calling in fill in the blank, your very best, the things you're manifesting, whatever it might be. For a lot of us, 2025 was challenging. I mean, I don't want to say that there's good things, there's some incredible things. We're here, we're doing this, it's great. So we wanted to set aside time to hear from three world-class spiritual leaders, global spiritual leaders that would help us release 2025, be thankful for it with the things that we learned, celebrate the good things, grieve the losses, but then call in incredible alignment in 2026 and feeling fully empowered. And so I have invited three incredible individuals to help us with that. And so tonight we will begin with a speaker, then we've got some multidimensional healing, and then we have an incredible channeling session, and then we will end with a bit of a panel conversation where I somehow will help them integrate help us integrate all of the truths that they have been sharing with us. So if you're not familiar with Awakened Magazine, awakenedmagazine.com. It's an online magazine that we started a year and a half ago, just a year and a half ago, you guys. And so, thank you. So We release 2 to 3 interviews a week with incredible conscious and spiritual leaders from around the globe. And you attended this event, so you will be learning about those. You can unsubscribe if you'd like. So we have about, 29,000 subscribers to the magazine right now. This is our second print edition. And so we love to do print editions for special experiences. So there are incredible contributing authors that are there in the magazine. And so we're just honored to serve you in this way. All right? So first up, we have an individual who is the founder of the Somatic Dance Institute. He is an expert in helping you. I'm not reading his bio. Like, this is coming from my heart, right? He's an expert in really helping you tap into how do you release those things that are stuck in your body, the grief, the loss, the challenges, the trauma. How do you release that in a physical way? And so he's done some big things. He's got his own show on Gaia. He's been featured on Big Celebrity Detox in the UK. He has been on The Doctors. He's a best-selling author with a couple of books, one called Spiritually Sassy, the other one called What is it? Spiritually We, thank you. Spiritually Sassy, Spiritually We, look at that. Best-selling books, and he's just an incredible man. So I want to invite you to give a big welcome to Sa Di Simone. Yes.
Thank you. So before we begin, and Mandy, Molly, thank you for your work as a somatic coach. That's, we see. And I want to try your water. Where are you? Yes, please. Can I have that? Like now? Okay, so before we start, let's just come into our bodies. A few simple techniques to help us land. We're going to bring our hands over the heart, so feet flat on the ground. Yeah. And we're going to take a deep breath in here. Deep breath, peace fingers to the temples. Hold the breath here. And then exhale, hands up to the heavens. Swing them over, but don't hit a nose. Inhale. Inhale. Hold. Holding. And then exhale. One more. Inhale. Hold. Holding, and then exhale. Now take one long, deep breath into the nose. And hum it out. Yeah, sweetie. One more, deep breath in. Hold. And then hum it out. And last one, make it count. Deep breath in. Hold. Holding. And then hum it out. Beautiful. Yeah. And now briefly look around to someone next to you or maybe behind you and say a hello. Like a genuine eyes of love. Hello. 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 Yeah. Yeah. I hope you know that a huge reason why we come to events like this, and thank you to Awakened Magazine, is to meet people. You know, I wrote a book, my third book, Spiritually We, about the importance of friendship. Yeah, thank you. Those who have it. And how vital it is for us to have friends. You know, before I begin my little discourse tonight, I just want to name this because it's so heavy in my heart today. I was training as a medical chaplain at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles, and bravely, you know, as a former addict, of course, I turned my addiction to getting high into healing and liberation and helping. And as soon as my mother died, I was like, I need to work in an oncology unit. I need to make sure that people are not dying alone. And one of the things that I noticed in the oncology unit, across the hospital really, people dying alone. Like, we are living at a time where 80% of the elderly population is dying alone, you know? So the importance of us just looking around and saying a hello with our eyes, making eye contact, really softening the barriers of individuality and hyper-independence to just say, hey, you matter, you matter, you matter, you matter. It's really important so we don't arrive at the end with me, a chaplain intern, now having to pray in a different religion that isn't mine. I'm honored I got to do it, but we don't need to end our lives in this way. So really try to connect with someone tonight, exchange a phone number, follow each other on social media, comment on their work, say good job. Don't hold back the compliments. Don't hold back. I think people watch my life on social media, and I'm so surrounded by so much abundance and so many friends, and it wasn't always like this. It wasn't always like this at all. I was lonely as well, lost, confused. So please, make a friend tonight. Really get out of your own way, and you can start with, I like your hair. I genuinely do. Yeah, you know? Okay, enough of that. So do I have a vow that you guys will make a friend tonight? Yeah, we need that. We need that, like, make a friend. I wish I was drinking your water, by the way, but this will do. So I'm here to talk about healing generational trauma. And when we think about generational trauma, we're thinking about our family's history, our lineage. And my story, my healing history, my personal history didn't start with me. I think a lot of us think of our own healing as something that started with us and something that we do for us. But the reality is that our stories don't start with us. We come into life and like we're walking to a movie theater halfway through the movie. And then all of a sudden we have to make sense of being the leading star and being the director and playing the protagonist and playing all the roles. My story started with my grandmother. Obviously, I'm going to share the part of the story that I have actualized, realized, integrated, and thankfully I'm letting go. My grandmother married, her first marriage was with a black man. She was dark-skinned like me, and when she married this black man, she had a son who was dark-skinned. His name was Orlando. And when she divorced this man and married my grandfather, amongst many beautiful qualities, he was racist. And that racism then led my grandmother, forced my grandmother to then hide Orlando in closets, in rooms, different rooms of the house. If there was any guests around the house, she would have to hide this young boy. And that led to then, at 27 years old, this young man, Orlando, who I never met, dying of a skin disease. So the psychosomatic experience of being told that you're bad because of your skin color led this young man of dying of a skin disease. This is shocking. It's not something to just take lightly. And then the story continues where my grandmother was ridden with guilt of how she allowed that to happen. And when my mom was about 11 years old, my grandmother waved her goodbye from the window as she crossed the street and said, "I love you, see you later." And she took a gun to her head. That imprint is in my lineage. So then fast forward to now my grandmother, my mother. Mother marries father. Thank you both. Father's family then repeats the same pattern in a different way, but very similar. Where now mother, pregnant with my sister, my older sister, is now living at my father's house, my grandmother's house, and grandmother is now asking mom to hide. Don't come around there when people are around. Please stay back there. She had curly hair. They didn't like that. She was pregnant. She didn't come from money. She didn't come from status. She didn't fit the bill of my dad's family quote. So when you have these two, gifts that I have then inherited, it leads to a very confused young man. I grew up with debilitating depression, suicidality, and it wasn't until 2018 that I really made a concerted effort to feel the feelings that were gifted to me by my family tree without a story. Let me backtrack a little bit. 2014, I boarded a plane to India, 11 years ago, with a very innocent search. What does it mean to be happy? What does it mean to be well? What does it mean to be joyful? And all those Google searches were leading me to meditation, were leading me to the East, to the Buddhist path, to the Vedic philosophies. And I decide I'm going to go to the south of India and I'm going to study meditation with these South Indian gurus. I was determined. Deep with the addiction still coursing through me, lost in anxiety, lost in depression, but there was a determination. You know that whisper that we all have that's saying, do this, go there, even though that's an insane choice to do, but do it anyways. Who's been to that place? Listen to the whispers. The whispers are the guiding force of our lives. So I board that plane, I go through this whole journey. Oh, actually, I have to say this. My father is the one who said, don't go to South India, go up to the Himalayas, study Buddhism, study with the Dalai Lama. And I said, can I curse? What the fuck do you know? But somehow he knew. I look up the Dalai Lama and it was an immediate connection. I look at his photos like, I know you. This is not the first go round. So I go on this wild trip, I do a 10-day silent retreat, and then I do a 30-day silent retreat. My whole world flips upside down. You can tell I'm a talker. Imagine me quiet for 10 days and then quiet for 30 days. It was wild to say the very least. I'm being kind by saying it was wild. It was actually really rough. I pick up all these practices, right? Concentrating on my breath, chanting mantras, becoming vegetarian, and then vegan, no more gossiping, no more cursing, which it clearly didn't work. And visualization, and I was wearing all white, barefoot, 12 crystals in my neck, literally, everything was namaste. Everything, I was trying to subdue this whole thing. But underneath the surface, the thing that I was actually trying to do with all the holiness was run away from feeling my feelings. Sadly, I didn't understand that the whole gig, the entire thing I was doing was escape, a holy one, a beautiful one, and beneficial, right? Because if you study the brains of meditators who are focused on an object, who have an object of focus, chanting mantras, visualizing, running, vegan, sober, plug in all the things, I was doing it. The missing link was I wasn't feeling my feelings. Underneath the surface, there was always that buzzing in my body. And the buzzing in my body was always alerting the stories of, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. You're bad. You're wrong. There's something rotten about you. There's something irrevocably bad about who you are. And through, obviously, all the healing modalities and studying with different people and self-studying, I realized that what I was carrying was emotional baggage. Grandmother's guilt, Orlando's fear, mother's pain, all alive in my body. And then I went in a blame spiral. I was like, F you and F you, you're the reason why I'm fucked up. Just went on like trying to decode the mystery of my unprocessed feelings and find blame. So I became someone who's constantly, alerting everybody, cut off your parents, go no contact, and look at the state of the world today. Oprah and some other wise person put out an op-ed in the New York Times a couple of days ago about the importance of stopping this culture of cancellation, stopping this culture of cutting off your parents and going no contact because of the time of death. How our parents are dying alone and we will inevitably die alone because it's repeating, And so one beautiful afternoon of me having the same repetitive feeling in my body, the same tug in my belly. It was right over here, actually. I'm wearing these really tight pants because I wanted to be cute for you today. But it's right over here. Thank you. Focus. I don't want to lose track of where I'm going with my story. Okay, so now we're 2018, 4 years of playing holy, 4 years of doing the holy thing. I get that tug in my belly again. And the immediate story is, you should just die. There's no reason why. And that day, I heard a whisper that I had heard years ago in passing. Drop the stories, be with the feeling. Drop the story, be with the feeling. And I was like, okay, sure. So instead of getting on the train that afternoon to go teach my meditation class, I stopped and I sat on the ground and I brought my attention into my body to where I felt the tension alive. Simply like this. I put my hand there, and by being with the feeling in my body, without stories, without pathologizing, without overly identifying, without being intoxicated by it, without holding on. In the Buddhist path, we call awareness touching sensation to be light as a feather. So I felt the feeling in my body. And the most miraculous thing happened. It was like a snake started to come up and out of my body. And it sounds psychedelic and kind of a movie, but if you've ever felt you're feeling something that's ancient and archaic, that's living in your body, you know exactly that moment when it moves up and out of you. I walked out of my apartment in Brooklyn that afternoon like I lost 20 pounds. All of a sudden, I felt like I had reverse aging. I walked in the subway, I was like, why is everyone looking at me? Like, bitch, I'm cute, but like, this is a different kind of cute. There was something magnetic happening. There was something totally different happening. I had never experienced that level of magnetism, that level of peace ever in my life. And then what came later was the most revolutionary thing of all. This is why I got into somatics. Was through the Western view of psychotherapy and psychoanalysis, we're constantly trying to analyze every feeling. We're constantly trying to decode the mystery of a sensation. And then that leads to an analysis paralysis. We're then questioning this and that, and there's always someone to blame, there's always a victim. And there's a lot of room for that in our lives, to have a center in the trauma soup, to be able to look around and be like, oh, this isn't mine. To just have some spaciousness through perspective and talking. But talking about my pain and talking about my feelings and talking about my sad stories never actually set me free of that buzzing in my belly. So when we can let go of the feeling that's stuck in our bodies, the way we relate to our trauma stories change. Instead of us having to talk about our stories and hoping of finding a different outcome, which who's been able to be magically do that, right? Sadly, I'm not debunking the current approach to therapy, but there's a lot of room to expand into the body, out of the head, into the body. The stories that were so pervasive in my mind around, I did this, I shouldn't be here, I like all the horrific, tragic, sad stories. The moment that I felt that feeling in my body, the charge of those stories softened. And now next time I'm walking at Whole Foods, at Union Square, the stories come, my body doesn't go, and I don't immediately feel like I need to drop the grocery store and run outside and have a cigarette. I was able to just allow the story to come and go, come and go. And then at some point, those memories became passing thoughts. Isn't that what healing is about? When our painful memories no longer have a hook, they no longer have a home, they no longer stick, they no longer loop. So healing generational trauma, if you've lost the plot, right? Because I'm going around for a second. I promise you, I'm going to circle back. Healing generational trauma may seem like this big ordeal of like sitting around with your therapist and, oh my God, grandma did this and da-da-da-da, and there's all this like ongoing, there's 12 things that happen in my life and I need to tackle one by one. What if healing generational trauma was very much about the next time you're responding to life in a hysterical way? Who's done that? Yeah? You actually realize that if it's hysterical, it's historical. Let's say that together. If it's hysterical, it's historical. If it's hysterical, it's historical. And instead of us trying to find who to blame the historical on, we just let go. And we felt the feeling in the body for what it is, a passing sensation. Without pathologizing, without holding on, without gripping, without conceptualizing. And we just felt them for what they are, a passing sensation. Like the great queer mystic, Sufi mystic, Rumi says, what if our feelings are visitors that we've invited, but we just forgot? What would happen if we met our feelings with that kind of openness of heart? Because the happy feelings, they come and we get really excited and all of a sudden we're eating the whole bag of cookies because we're trying to hold on to the happy feeling. And when the grief comes or the rage comes or the confusion comes, we do the same thing. The ways that we're coping and celebrating might be the same because of these historical patternings. I think there's room for creating responsibility for who's done what. But if that is your vernacular ongoing in conversation, if you've been telling the same stories in therapy for the last 10 years, and therapists in the room, yeah, about you and I, yeah, we like each other, yeah. And I train a lot of therapists in my training too. And I see a therapist. And a lot of our friends are therapists too. But if you find yourself repeating the same old sad story over and over and over again, this is your opportunity to stop and say enough. And it's weird, right? Because who are we if we're not our sad stories? Question that. Who would you be if your sad stories weren't running and, sorry to be blunt and a little sassy, but ruining your life? Because what's repressed becomes behavior. What's unfelt becomes communication. So the ways that mommy and daddy and grandpa and grandma and they've all done their magic, worked their little swirl of unprocessed everything, didn't say no when it was too much, all the things, it's alive in us. So instead of looking for someone to place the blame on, just pause. The next time your emotional response does not match the context of reality, that is your cue. My definition of emotional wellness is my emotional response matches the context of reality. Something sad happens, I'm sad. You're happy, I'm happy. Something difficult happens, I can go through the difficult emotion. So many of us are flatlining, numb or completely angry. Who can relate to that? I only see a couple of courageous hands, but trust me, honey, doing this work all over the world, I know that you're lying. But that's okay, no problem. How long do I have? Oh, I'm right on time. 5 minutes. So, how do I want to wrap this up? Oh, 2 things I forgot to say. The work of Dr. Rachel Yehuda. Fantastic. She's a cornerstone researcher of epigenetics and intergenerational trauma. She's the reason why we have all of this language. She studied people who have survived the Dutch famine. She studied survivors of the Holocaust and their children. And what she realized is that the kids and the grandkids from these horrific events in the world felt the same way that their grandparents did. And it didn't match the context of their reality because they were, quote, safe, quote, happy, successful. All of the material needs were taken care of. It didn't make sense for them to feel so lost. If you like empirical data, you can hold on to that. If you like esoteric data, the Buddhist path, the Vedic traditions, Eastern philosophies speak about past lives. So whichever way you look at, emotional baggage is alive in all of us. If you are a science nerd, or if you are an esoteric nerd, which I think we're more esoteric nerds here, hey, it is important, yes. It is important for us to acknowledge that we are the sum of the unprocessed energy of our ancestors. And the most beautiful thing we get to honor and do is healing those who didn't have a chance to heal by doing the work here and now, by pausing when we feel hysterical, by breathing when we feel like we're about to unleash the anger like Dad did or like how Grandpa did. So pause, be with the feeling. Go to where in the body you feel what you feel. Really learning simple steps of, oh, I'm about to lose my shit. I see the world through a very small lens. Everybody's ugly. Everything sucks. I hate these people. I hate this place. When your mind goes to a very tunnel vision, a single pointed tunnel vision of negativity, that's when you know that you've lost the plot and you've left your body into the future, or most likely the deep, deep past. Where in your body do you feel what you feel? You may be like, I feel nothing. Okay, start there. I feel numb. Okay, then try again. Then try again. At some point, something miraculous will happen. When you have the big surge of energy coming up, you're gonna be like, oh, it's actually right over here. Oh, I feel tense. I feel tightness. And notice the non-dual languaging that I'm using. I'm not saying this is bad or this is good. This feels like tension. This feels like tightness. Being with it in the body for what it is, a passing, unpleasant feeling. And then offer the sweet words, I see you. Thank you for visiting me. And then I dare you to say, I love you. I love you. I love you. Ah, I love you. You notice that so much of our lives is about running away from unpleasant feelings. We go to sleep dreaming of the coffee. Once we have the coffee, we're dreaming of the muffin. Once we have the muffin, we're dreaming of the whatever. Plug in all the distraction tools. Our society is built on how quickly we can run away from our feelings. But instead of building your life, this beautiful, miraculous life around running away from your body, running away from unpleasant feelings, you just took a moment to pause and be with it. I want to end on saying that wanting to feel good and wanting to be happy, they're very good goals for the wellness, healing journey. But if we're seeking to become free, we have to choose openness, to be with grief and gratitude, to be with despair and inspiration, to be with all that visits with open arms. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sa. Sa will be back in a few minutes for our conversation here on the couch. Encourage you to follow him, Sadi Simone, on Instagram. And so, thank you so much. One of the things that I have discovered over the last 4 years of my own spiritual journey, I don't know if you guys know, I was a Christian pastor for over a decade. Helped start a church here in Costa Mesa called Rock Harbor back in 1997. I was the associate pastor there, started churches up in Long Beach, and had my own kind of burnout experience about 2008. Hit a wall, didn't know how to feel feelings. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I went to my first sound bath with Keegan Brady. Where's Keegan? There's Keegan. My first sound bath, yes. Thank you, Keegan. And I call it that's the gateway drug to everything, right? And so actually somatic healing has been very helpful for me. I got introduced to somatic healing. I started going a couple years ago. I did about 25 sessions. And boy, I started feeling things I didn't even know were going on inside me. And I realized, wow, my heart was closed. It was just closed. Because I didn't want to feel pain, I didn't want to feel disappointment, I didn't want to feel rejection. And through that process of that year, just like my heart just opened. And it feels kind of scary, because when my heart opened, I thought I was going to feel all the good feelings. Like I wanted to feel like loved and all of a sudden I started feeling like just pain and fear and right? And I got off the antidepressants and those are a good resource, right? I had been on it for like 15 years. And so I got off that and I started feeling all the negative things. But eventually I started feeling all the good things. And my heart is so wide open compared to where it has been. And it feels so good. It feels so good. Something that talk therapy could never help me with, right? Is exactly like Saw said. Well, I could describe my problem really well. I still had it, right? One of the things that opened up for me in that session with Keegan, actually, is I heard him speaking light language. And at 18, I started speaking in tongues in a Christian context. And I had experienced that through college, but in a lot of evangelical churches, it's kind of frowned upon. Like, it's kind of like, let's hold off on that, right? That's kind of weird, right? And so I heard him doing it. I was like, I could do that here? Wow. So I started doing it. Like, it was amazing. Yeah. And so that leads me to another incredible leader who I got to interview for Awakened magazine, and that is Ken Lloyd. Would you guys give a hand to Ken? Yes.
Hey.
So Ken has an incredible story, and I just love what you're doing. And so I'm going to chat with Ken a little bit about his story, and then he's going to take us through a little bit of a journey here. I'm going to try to keep my light language inside of me. Keegan, that's all right. So Ken, what were you doing a number of years ago in life? Like, what was your life all about?
So my life was trying to survive, learning how to write software. So entrepreneur. I never wanted to work 1 hour for a set wage. So I found a passion, learning how to write software from a bet from a friend that says, I dare you to write something. And I did. And the very first piece of software I wrote turned out to be used by AOL and their AOL spyware eliminator program. I was one of the original creators of antivirus, literally the first piece of software I wrote. So I did that. And I created a couple other cybersecurity companies, all early stage startups, sitting in my bedroom. Sold them to Silicon Valley, sold them to cyber intelligence firms out in DC. And the latest one was a Silicon Valley firm in Dallas, Texas. The mobile security apps, that was partially me.
And simultaneously, you were a very spiritual person, I assume.
No. No religion, no spirituality. I was zeros and ones. Right? Everything was logical for me. Right? How did the bad guys get in? How do we keep them from getting in? And how do we create the software to protect you? So zero religion, zero spirituality. Went to a psychic once at a carnival. That was it. I'm not sure how that turned out.
So what happened?
So, as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. It's very, very stressful. And in fact, the business partner that I had partnered with was very good at it. And 2 years before my event, I was diagnosed with a pituitary tumor, which was later operated on, which was cortisol tumor wrapped in a cortisol cyst, all stress. So every day was stress, every day was energy drinks, every day was ADHD meds. This was my life, 20 hours a day working. So got triggered. I didn't even know what that word was. Go into the bedroom, I lay down, and what happened was the stomach arched in the air, literally like the letter U. I was electrically frozen in position. And this didn't go on that long. I think it was 3 or 4 minutes, but there was this warm swirling in the belly, and then it popped out, and I passed out. Now what changed the next day is I woke up with peace. Now that set me off to find out what just happened. Now, I later found out that it wasn't so much of a near-death experience where I had the visuals, right? I had the epiphany, the conversation. I had no instant healing. But if you could use the idea of the tunnel opening and a soul aspect coming over to me, into my field, that's what a walk-in is called. There's a lot of different types of walk-ins. There's a soul exchange. One leaves, one comes in. That wasn't me. I became a soul braid where I was braided with another consciousness. I did not know this is what happened. But what I did know was something was guiding me to learn to detox the body, to turn off the news, to do the psychics, the QHHT, to begin understanding what energy was. What is an aura? What are the chakras? I mean, literally the basics. Then I read a book, Energy Healing, and began doing the practice, right? And it was happening, very, very minimal, right? But enough for me to pursue. Well, moving on down the road a little bit. Now this happened in 2018, about 7 years ago. And as walk-ins move through their journey, it's about a 7-year integration, which is where I'm at right now. So the past 2 years have been pretty incredible for me. So to fast forward the story, that one walk-in became 13. So 12 more came in on April 1st, 2023.
Okay,
now,
so hold on.
Yeah.
Because there's some people here that are going, 12 more what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Soul aspects. These are not full souls, right? So it's not as if, so think of it like this. Each one of these soul aspects have a job to do. And they use the human vessel to do it. Ken's still here. Ken controls the human vessel. But they're way behind the scenes. Didn't even know it was happening until someone let me know. We put people in front of us, right? To help us understand who we are. That's what took place. Now, I still didn't know what was happening. But I get a message, go meditate on 12/12/23. So 2 years ago. And I find myself in my little meditation closet. I sit down and I'm instantly frozen again. I can't move my body. I can't itch. I can't twitch. I can feel the energy coming down through the crown, and I ask the question, who are you? What's going on? And the simple response is, we're a little busy. We'll get back with you in a moment. And they turned off my ability to ask questions. So for 13 out of those 15 minutes, it was pure bliss. What had happened is the higher self stepped into the physical structure that day. Now, if you know much about walk-ins, a soul exchange, when they come in, they don't really know what's happening. And they end up in a rapid life transformation. They move, they divorce, they quit their job, they leave their families. Everything shifts. And I was lucky enough to not have that happen until then. Within 3 weeks of the higher self stepping into the body, I was asking for a divorce from a 17-year beautiful marriage. But my partner had no spirituality, didn't shift their vibration as I continued to rise. So that bond was broken. By March of that year, I was in Mexico for 6 months, integrating, where 9 more came in. So at that point, I had 22 soul aspects in my physical structure doing what? This amazing healing. But they weren't really talking to me. They weren't helping me understand everything. In fact, I have no story. I can't tell you about a past life. I can tell you what I've done, but I'm here to not give the story, but literally to shift the energetic field through these soul aspects. It gets better. It gets better. So in July, I'm in Tulum, and I get the message to go do Cambo and Bufo. I don't like plant medicines, by all means. A lot of you may. It's just not my thing. But what happened is when they opened up the cells of the body through the Cambo, and then we went through the ego depths of the Bufo, they all merged into the physical body. They were no longer in my field. They were in my physical structure. It gets better. February of this year, I wake up and I can't move my body. Imagine all of your chakras as a puppet string. They had cut the energetic centers. I had no emotions, completely void, unable to animate my body, as they installed what I call dryer voltage. They moved, the energy in the body had shifted so much, they had to change the energetic structure to handle more and more and more. I became a soul infusion. They're all merged with me. We operated as an embodied collective of these divine frequencies. Whew, that was a lot.
So as a result, you now utilize light language. Mm-hmm. They utilize light language.
They do.
They utilize light language in order to bring healing to individuals. And so if you guys haven't learned about Ken, you go to kenlloydofficial.com and you can see he's got all sorts of amazing resources to bring healing to people in all sorts of different ways. So I wanted to ask you tonight to help us, right? Sa has helped us talk about feeling our feelings. Thank you. And so will you help us in your own way release last year?
Yeah.
And then step into the awesomeness of 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way this works, your team, your off-planet team, your spirit team, they have something for you, but often it takes a human to deliver it. This is going to come down to what they call a hollow bone. Every one of you are going to get something different. It might be physical, it might be emotional, it might be mental, it might be activations, visuals. Doesn't matter. Everyone's unique. Are you guys ready for this? All right. You're going to hear different tones. After you get through the giggle factor, for those of you who haven't listened to light language, you're going to hear different tones, different sounds, and these are the different soul aspects that are coming through for you.
Should we close our eyes? Should we, what should we do?
Just enjoy it. There's no process here.
Okay, we got about 5 minutes.
That's all I need.
Okay.
Here we go. I am a little Shalmaleria Tashalaria Tarero Shakoloroto Shalamamalerio Toriario Tikini Yoruto Shalamamaleria Roto Shagamalero Torianota de Tikuriata Shako shoto. Chabarioto riarta kilurto koshenia taliati tia shioto. Sholo teria mama lea arioroto. Aya mama leria. Shelo moriorto shakaria rota kieni tishidiata. Mubucho shoto tiata shili tiariaria. Aya moriorto. Shanamakili yeshetia. And that's all you need. Is everyone all right? Okay.
So if you could help us, even just describe, what happened in that moment. Help us understand.
I couldn't tell you. Seriously, I am literally tapped out, watching my mouth with the frequencies as they move through, right? And those different tones are the different aspects. So depending on who's in the crowd and who's going to receive on the replays, because it works in the replays as well, those codes come through. Light language, while it shifts your energetic field in real time, I want you to think of it like this. Our bodies are created 1 billion times a second from energy, right? When you remove the distortions in your energetic field, your body responds in real time, right? Some of you may have a physical relief, the emotional relief. Some of you may be emotional, and you may be emotional for the next day or two, while you continue to process these shifts.
Thank you so much, Ken.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Just give Ken a can.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope that you will dive into Ken's work. And take a little bit of a deeper look. I would really encourage you to watch the interview that I did with him on Awakened Magazine. It goes into even more depth about his story, and it's really, really, really powerful. So I encourage you to check that out. So earlier this year, I had an opportunity. Someone introduced me to a woman named Livia Devi, and I was not familiar with her work. And I mean, honestly, I had heard about people channeling, but one of the things that I'm so excited about with Awakened Magazine is I just am constantly learning. I constantly get to talk to these amazing people, and I'm the person who asks I tell them up front, I go, I'm probably gonna ask you a question that's like a 5th grader, but that's because I just wanna learn, and the people that I think listen to this, they might be asking that same question, and so I'm gonna be the person that's willing to ask, what just happened? Right? If we were at a spiritual event, they wouldn't ask that. But I'd be like, what just happened? Just because I'm curious, So when I started talking with Livia about her story, similar to Ken, all of a sudden, okay, this amazing dynamic thing happened. And then I asked her to channel, and that was the first time I had ever really experienced that in that context. And I mean, if you go back and watch that video, when she starts channeling, literally my eyes went like this. I was like, what is going on? This is incredible. Now, a year later, I'm having some of these experiences, and she's helping me, navigate this world. She's just become a dear friend. And so Livia Devi is a New Earth leader. She is a channel for the 70 Arcturian Council of Light. And she is absolutely amazing. She's going to tell you a bit about her story and how this came into her life, and then she is going to share a channeled message with us. You guys, I just encourage you to be open-hearted, open-minded in this process. And so will you give Livia a big hand?
Thank you so much, David, and I'm so happy to be with you all today. It's an honor to be here and share this space with you. My story started in 2016 when I was activated by the 12D Sirius Council of Light, and they trained me for 1 year to become a trance channel for 70 Arcturian Council of Light, and this is what you will experience today. As Devi said, I'm inviting you to receive today's transmission through your heart consciousness. You might not understand the words, the flow, and everything that is gonna connect with you, but the 70 Arcturian Council of Light is an interdimensional civilization that are here to elevate humanity and human consciousness to the next level of embodiment. And as you probably know and experience already, many of you here are awakened and are on this fast track of acceleration, evolution of consciousness. And I'm excited for each and one of you today to receive these codexes of light and what you are here to receive and what you are ready to embody. As a mentor, I teach quantum physics, quantum mechanics, and I'm blending teachings in between spirituality and consciousness. I will not get too much into my story because I feel like that is not important. And as Sach said, the stories attached to identities creates problems and what is impeding us to fully embody who we truly are. So as myself, my story is just a reflection of who I am. But I'm here today to experience with you how you are letting go of your own stories. And thank you for saying yes to this experience. So what we will do today is we will create an energetic field in all this beautiful circular spheric room, and you might feel a little bit cold in your bodies, and I'm inviting you to close your eyes and allow yourself to receive and get yourself comfortable and know that you are safe, loved, and supported through this process. All right? Okay. Well, let's go. So I'm inviting you now to gently close your eyes and bring your attention to your breathing. Inhale through your nostrils and out through your mouth. Let go of everything that is not serving you in this moment in time. Let go of all ideas, expectations, worries, fears. And with each breath you are taking in, just invite prana, life force energy, chi into your heart. With each breath you are taking in, just let your heart open up more and more. And now, with your permission, we will activate your individual column of ascension, golden crystalline light energy coming from the great central sun and flowing down through the stargate of our sun. And see this beautiful golden light going through your galactic star portal, your soul star portal, higher self portal, and letting flow down into your crown chakra, into your third eye, activating your pineal gland, and let it flow down into your throat, into your upper heart, into your physical heart, Amun, and into your lower chakras now, into your solar plexus, your sacral root. Let this golden light fully infuse your physical vessel, open up all your nadis, your chakric system, activating your pranic tube. And let it flow down through your legs to the sole of your feet. And from the sole of your feet, let it go down through the layers of the earth until this energy is meeting the crystal core of planet Earth. And we will anchor today's transmission into the 5th dimensional crystal core. And see this beautiful golden light going through the layers of the earth, splitting into at the bottom and encompassing you into a toroidal form and coming back in your central column of ascension. And now I'm inviting you to expand this golden light into your all layers, levels, and dimensions of your physical body, energetic body, and light bodies. And let go of your outside environment, let it melt down, completely dissolve as a new version of you will come back into your body. And I'm inviting in this field to join us, Council of Life from Arcturus, Council of Life from Sirius from the 12th dimension, Pleiadian constellation, 7 stars, Maya, Vega constellation, Lyra, Andromeda, Galactic Federation, Star Nation, Star Seed Alliances, Archangel Michael, Raphael, Uriel, Metatron, Zadkiel, Sandalphon, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Kuan Yin, and Isis. Please join us in this space and create a vortex of light all around us, only high vibrational frequencies to connect to us now. And I ask the Arcturian Council of Light, my star family, to flow into my And here we are, dear ones. Council of Light from Arcturus. Connecting to you in this time-space continuum. Don't be afraid of our expression. We are not different than you. We are flowing through Elva, this vessel of light, to activate you into your own remembrance, into your own frequency. And this, what you are and what you are here to experience. So this year of your linearity has been challenging. And we know, we have seen the struggle and pain, the confusion that the collective of your planet went through. And understand that every individual experience is reflected into your collective. So it's not about linearity anymore. It's not about experiencing yourself through the lenses of your past, present, and future realities. It's about presence. The more present you are, the more you transcend collective consciousness agreements, patterns, and thoughts that are projecting and are entraining your realities. So what we will do now is allow each and one of you individually in this room to experience from reality and consciousness from a blank slate. Which means that you'll not be bound to collective agreements anymore. 80% of light workers on this planet are transmuting to their physical vessels collective trauma. It's not your job to do this. You are not becoming a better light worker or in service by doing other people's work. So it's time to step into your power. It's time to own your physical vessels. It's time to let your higher expression to flow through you. Are you ready for this shift? We want to hear it if you are ready to be activated. Very good. We start now. We are placing now on each and one of you a crystalline grid of light, connecting it to your nervous system now. Let's bring that nervous system into calmness. And we are streaming through this grid of light, a turquoise blue light. Let yourself receive that. Very good. Now we are placing into your hearts an octahedron. This octahedron will start spinning clockwise, cleansing, clearing, purifying everything that is holding you back, consciously or subconsciously or unconsciously. And let yourself now completely release what's there with all your intention. Very good. Now we are beaming into your heart and into your third eye a beautiful golden light. activating the fifth dimensional visionary in each and one of you. Your path is not of the collective, is not written through collective agreements, it's yours to choose, it's yours to create, it's yours to enjoy, it's yours to rejoice in it. Itura ya casa ya nora, itora ya kusa, inoraya, akura ya sata ya nusa, itora ya kora, ito, anasu, ayaku, arata, inora ya tusa, kayatu, iha, iro ya tu. What we are doing here is that we are clearing your blueprint, your geometry. You are all geometric beings. Now connect to your heart consciousness now. Breathe slowly into your heart. Place that intention that you have for the next year of your linearity. Whatever number is there for you. 2026 or any other number. Some people are already living in future realities. And as you do so, allow this intention to expand now into your heart. And let that expansion move 10 meters all around you. Show to the world how precise you are as a co-creator of your reality. If you cannot dream or you don't have a vision, place a feeling into that intention. For the ones that already have dreams and visions, place them there now. Very good. Now we will seal this with an ephetos, which is a sound technology. Very good. You are all in a unified field of consciousness, unified by your own individual intentions. So though, dear ones, the next years of your linearity will be interesting. And that you will make it even more interesting through your individual choices. Don't let separation consciousness to take you off track of your own created reality. Stay precise into your physicality. Someone asked Elva, this vessel of light, her name is Elva, what is going to happen to us, which means to you in the next years. Understand that the frequency of this planet is so heightened that it's not about collective experience anymore, as individual experiences that are frequency-based. So you'll have the opportunity to create your own worlds. With other words, you'll have the opportunity to travel into already existing frequency worlds. Some of you are already doing that consciously. So don't be afraid of what is yet to come. Everything is expanding your consciousness and helping your race to evolve. We will take one question as we feel excitement in this field. Who wants to ask a question? Nobody.
One moment.
We don't know how to joke. We are working on that.
One moment.
Okay. You talked about individual experience, frequency-based. What's important about that for all of us?
You are all geometric expressions, frequency, consciousness. When you are connected to your own stream that is flowing through you, you are able to create worlds from within. What is important, dear beloved ones, is to understand that frequency runs at cellular, molecular, and atomic level. So allow who you are to be fully embodied. And as our dear friend, the first speaker today said, you cannot embody yourself until you release what is not yours. It's important to stay into your vessels, as the years that will come will challenge many of you to ascend in different ways, and there are many false tracks of ascension on your planet. So staying present with your frequency and staying connected is important. And dear ones, we know that for thousands of years you have created collective agreements and realities because of separation and fear consciousness. But as you are embodying love, frequency, and love consciousness, understand that you don't need to come together in agreements that are not serving the individual, only the collective. So everything in your next years of your reality becomes an individual created reality world. And as you become sovereign in your embodiment, as you become sovereign in your frequency stream, as you become sovereign into your releasing purification processes, you choose where you want to be. Things are not chosen for you anymore. We understand that independence is something that you have recently learned. Because codependency is what created disagreements that created default realities for you and others. But through the interdependence that is being created, you as individual, you choose your experience and others are choosing as well. And this frequency alignment creates new realities. This is the new frequency that needs to be embodied, the new teaching by each and one of you. Don't be afraid of walking alone, knowing that in that moment others will join instantly. Any other questions?
One moment.
We like your moments.
Thank you. What's the most important thing? Like, what should be our top priority? Maybe it's different for each individual, but yeah.
What should be our top priority, he asked.
The top priority is to come back to your inner world, inner realities, inner self, higher self, spirit, soul, heart consciousness, whatever you want to call it. This is top priority. Love. You see, dear beloved ones, All of you has been so externally focused for such a long time that you don't know how to focus into your inner stream. Don't externalize. Even the projection is how reality is created. You are creating realities through projections of your own subconscious mind. In the dream state, you project your unconscious mind. When you wake up in the morning, it's a mix of subconscious and unconscious created so-called your conscious reality. And it's not so conscious anymore, as 90% is a projection. When you are making your top priority, your inner stream, your awareness, your ascension, your evolution, your embodiment. When you become aware of how your subconscious mind works, how your programming is projecting realities, how your unconscious is creating all sorts of templates of existence, when you understand the geometry of who you are, only then you will consciously create. So that's your homework. And we understand that many of you are seekers. You are on the seeker path, which means that you try to learn from mentors and teachers, and you take their vocabulary and their teachings and you try to integrate, but you cannot integrate what is others. So you'll need to take this journey, this inner journey in your soul on your own. And this might be scary for so many of you because you are not taught in your third dimensional schools how to connect to your heart. So this is a different type of education with no mentor, where your only mentor is your soul and your spirit. Elva was activated by our friends from Sirius B. She had a non-physical teacher before we came through this vessel. So don't be afraid to open up to non-physical part of yourself and learn from you, because your physical expression, as you all know, is only 7.5% of who you are. The rest is non-physical. This is where your knowledge, wisdom, codexes, blueprints, all your knowledge resides at multidimensional level. It's not outside of you. Even your non-physicality is not outside of you, it's inside of you. The space between the atoms contains data and energy about who you are. So you have to dig deeper and dive deeper into your soul, into your bodies, into your consciousness. Consciousness is not outside of you, resides within you. We love that so many of you are exploring multidimensionality, but the next step after that is interdimensionality. You see, dear beloved ones, your outside reality is always trying to impose on you agendas and create your priority list. Turn off that media, that TV. Turn off the thought patterns that are running through your head. Turn off the stories. And try to discover who you are beyond all of those identities. Who are you beyond your name, your definitions, how you try to describe yourself? That's not who you are. You see, so many people are asking us, what is going to happen on your planet? That's not important. What's important is what's going to happen inside of you that will create a reality experienced on your planet. Any other question? We don't know how much time we have. We have a timekeeper here telling us we are existing beyond your linear time, space, reality.
Got one more question for you.
Very good.
Could you tell us more about the octahedron that you placed in our heart and what it does? Is there a purification there, or what?
Firstly, don't be afraid of it. We did place that into your heart and will stay for the next 7 days of your reality. Because what we are transmitting now beyond our words is going straight into your physical bodies and especially into your crystalline light body. So the octahedron is a geometry very well known on your planet. So we are using our Arcturian technology, sacred geometry, which is very simple, which is a triangle, and we are merging with this octahedron. The role is to purify, cleanse, and make space for this transmission to be fully integrated. It's a technology that is moving clockwise and allows to bridge with your consciousnesses. Also, in that octahedron, open up electromagnetic field into your heart. Through that magnetic expression, your desire and vision, your intentions being amplified. So we took the linearity of 2026 for many of you, 2027 for one person here only, and we plugged it in within your heart consciousness, with other words, creating from your heart and not from your mind or collective agreements. So this is why that technology is there, and it's going to stay for 7 days. After that is dissolving.
Couple more minutes.
If you want to work more intentional with this technology for the next 7 days, we advise you to invite your higher self to activate your Christ consciousness. As we know, the 1212 portal is bringing a wave of energy that is connecting you with aspects of your higher self that can be fully embodied by many of you here, activating your Christ consciousness and angelic self and angelic wings, which will allow you to drop deeper into your heart. And when you are in between 2025 and 2026, beloved one, understand that that's a portal on its own. And that portal is not to place your seeds, your wishes into 2026, but it's a portal to let go. Your 2026 year starts in February, energetically. It was indeed an honor to co-create with you all here and now. A very short interception and intervention from the regions where we reside. We are sending you our love embrace. Feel it now. Namaste, dear ones. So I'm inviting you all now to bring your consciousness back into your bodies. Feel your seat bones. Feel the sole of your feet, ground yourself. In your own pace and time, gently open up your eyes, being fully present in this here and now. How are you guys feeling? Good? All right, okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much, Livia. Thank you. If you want to stay up here, I want to invite Sa and Ken to come join me. And let's see. Ken, do you mind grabbing that mic off of that stand? Yeah, go ahead and thank Livia, of course. Yeah, thank you. You finally got that water. What an amazing experience so far, right? So, yeah. So one of the things that I quickly noticed as I am a learner in this space is that there seems to be this continuum of those who are into more healing from a somatic perspective, different therapeutic experiences, breath work, sound baths, meditation, right? And then there's this part of this spiritual community that's way over here that's galactic and light language and just all these, unique things. And I had a desire through our first expo is how do we bring those communities together? Because I have a sense that those of us who, because I'm passionate about all of it, but those of us who are maybe a little bit more in the somatic healing world maybe could be stretched to have these galactic encounters, right? These interdimensional encounters. I can't say multidimensional anymore because I just got corrected. Like you need to be not as multidimensional, which is one of my questions, right? And then those of us who are kind of more in that otherworldly experiences might be helped by having some of these somatic experiences, right? And so that's my desire through all that we're doing with Awakened Magazine and the events is bridging that gap and especially my heart is for people who are just like I was 5 years ago going, what is this? Like I'm trying to figure this out, right? Like those are my people, right? Because if we can help them take steps forward to experience more healing, more transformation, more growth, more awakening, their life will be so amazing and our world will be, right, so amazing. So anyway, I am so thankful for these three leaders who I admire and resonate with and appreciate. And I want to take a few minutes to ask you guys some questions and try to integrate some of all of this. And although I heard the council say that this question doesn't matter, it was my first question. And the question that I like to ask individuals like yourself is, what is unfolding in our world right now? Like it seems like there's a rapid escalation of awakening among our culture to spirituality, to possible disclosure, right? There's so many things. What do you sense? And I know we need to focus on the inward, which we will, but what do you sense is unfolding?
Yeah. So, all the contrast and duality that we are experiencing and how everything is intensifying on planet Earth right now is, I know that, if we are looking it through the lens of our individual experiences can be quite terrifying. And, I think human beings generally, they tend to take things very personal. And I feel like we are moving from, taking things personal into becoming more impersonal. And if you want to tap into what unity consciousness is fully embodied, because we are speaking about embodiment. So everything that is, happening on planet Earth is helping us evolve, transform, and open up our perception towards the next level of experiencing reality and how it is through this massive contrast to actually come into love consciousness. Because, unfortunately, in the third dimension, everything is very much played out through, polarity and paradoxes. And we came to understand that, when we are moving through polarity and paradoxes, we came to understand how we are transcending all of that So yes, the next years is going to be very powerful and very challenging for many of us. Like things are not going to get better when it comes to, our ascension, awakening process and evolution, because evolution at its core implies transformation and change, right? So we are moving from all these grids, and transformation we are still going to feel the pains and strains, and we are going to go to the mud of transformation, but what is changing is how we are relating to the process on its own, with more sovereignty, more empowerment, more, which actually will allow everything will start to smooth out, and we are becoming more understanding of these processes, right? So yes, we will have ET encounters in the next years, and there will be a lot of technological advancement in the third dimension, right? But, as we were speaking on, I don't know who I was speaking with, is that, we have choice at individual and collective level to choose and create our own realities. And I think that this is where it's coming all together, that, we become to understand what does it mean to be a co-creator. And what Sach said is like, is we go beyond the blame, shame, and all of this, all these games that we have played for so many years, for thousands of years. And we come to understand our role in creating reality. And what does that mean at the pure embodiment level? And I think like people don't grasp that concept yet. This is why there is so much struggle.
It seems like a lot of the create your own reality oftentimes can kind of feel a little bit self-centered in what do I want? Like almost like what am I manifesting? Like I want that new relationship, I want that new job,
It's not about that. And this is I think like, when we are speaking about manifestations and the law of attraction, that's fine. There are many laws of the universe, and I think manifestation is just the very first step of it. But when we are speaking about being creator of your own reality, it means that you understand your inner universes and everything that's happening inside of you. You are, moving through your life with awareness, with consciousness, with responsibility and ownership. I think these last two, people are learning right now what does it mean to be fully responsible of your own process and to not, project in your outside reality things that are just not real. So then we start to actually understand what's illusion and what we are creating. Yeah. So this is not about manifestation and rituals and crystals and, I think like that was the first step of spirituality that we have been many years ago. And now it's like we are all called to see, like look at life in a more mature, more advanced, more evolved way. Because this is how we are going to evolve as a species, So, yeah, if
Thank you. Thank you. Sa.
No, please, and I'll need you to repeat the question.
Of course.
What was the question again?
What is unfolding right now on our planet? What do you sense is happening?
I have no idea. But what I know is that there's a crisis of apathy. There's a quiet crisis of being completely disconnected from our bodies. And when we are disconnected from our bodies, we don't know how to feel our own feelings. When we don't know how to feel our own feelings, life can't touch us. So the hurt we see in the world can't awaken inspiration. So there's a really horrific, in my view, silent crisis of apathy, where we can walk over an unhoused person and nothing in us moves on our way to yoga. Like the yoga was right there, We're putting people behind bars like it's a really beneficial thing. So I think the dismantling of the industrial prison complex is something that we can start to look into. I think there's a lot of structures that we could dismantle, and maybe that will suffice the crisis that we're in. But I think it all stems down to a very specific thing. We need to get out of our own self-centeredness, me, mine, and I, and go be of service. It's that simple, Make time to go volunteer in a prison, make time to go volunteer in a food bank, make time. Your self-care practices has to lead to community care. So if you're doing a lot of, caring for your mind, caring for your body, opening your heart, doing all these things that make you feel good, the surplus, or even on the direction to a surplus, should be orienting you towards caring for other people, because it's that sustainable, which you beautifully, in, I don't even know how to name it, but the connection, all that came through was very much about gifting and sharing and helping. What really changed my life is all the humanitarian work that I've done. So I really just, my invitation is to check in when we become apathetic to the pain of the world, and to just get out there and make some sandwiches, put some granola bars in your bag, take some $20 bills out. You know, I think that's how we end whatever it is that's happening now.
Thank you, Saab. What is unfolding in our world right now from your perspective?
So, first of all, I've been tapped out of the world for 7 years. No TV, I don't follow any channelers, no information, no newsletters. So when I asked that question to the team, what they helped me understand is right now there is a land grab for human consciousness. All right, you know, whether it be from the news, whether it be from all the different ETs that are out there, because while they're beautiful and they have a lot to bring, there are necessarily, as they say, some bad neighbors in the neighborhood, right? And so my team, or at least the Divine, is here to remind us, just like your channel, which I love, you have to go inside for your own truth. You have to go inside, and while you're getting your information out there, inside is where everything happens. It's where your reality is created, where you get to choose how you're going to show up. So again, I can't tell you what's happening in the world, but I can tell you the shift that has to happen is right here, period. Nowhere else.
Livia, you mentioned, the Council of Light mentioned, that there were false ascension paths. I don't know if you remember channeling that. So maybe you can't answer this question, I don't know. But they mentioned that there are false ascension paths that are, I don't know the right language, but basically,
Okay. Yeah.
right? What do you mean? What do they mean by that? And how can we be on more of a true ascension path? What does that look like?
Well, we all know that the control matrix is quite embedded everywhere, and there are, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole and in conspiracy theories. It's not my domain, but what I would like to just highlight is that I always saw, since I started doing this work in 2016, this split, and it was very interesting to see the split of worlds and consciousness somehow, between the third dimension and the fifth dimension, yeah. And I had an unsettled feeling inside my heart, because I said, well, Council, we are always teaching and speaking about unity, consciousness, and oneness. Why there is a split in consciousness that I'm seeing in the timelines, Why do we have to separate? It was breaking my heart,
When you say split in consciousness in the timelines, what does that look like practically? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I'm gonna share with you what I saw in the quantum field. Yeah, I saw different, there are infinite versions of Earth. Yeah, and I saw some versions of Earth being within a lower frequency than others. Yeah, and this doesn't mean that within the wholeness of how we are moving in time and space, there is a separation. Even the third dimensional contrast is serving the higher world. But the fact that some people has to be into that darkness to serve, it felt like, from my perspective, as an embodiment, as a human being, it felt like heartbreaking that some people are sacrificing unknowingly for that. Yeah. So when we are speaking about third dimensional worlds, we see a lot of technologies, a lot of false ascension paths, a lot of things that are actually happening where are trying people, to manipulate humans into not evolving to the next level and to not connecting their heart consciousness. And we can see these examples in how our air, water is polluted, and the food and the earth, and it's how they are trying to control everything, and how we try to keep humans to not evolve and not ascend, not opening up their hearts and to not, access who they are, because it's an access point, because we are infinite beings. We are extremely powerful when we access ourselves, So all these templates, like false ascension paths means templates where, you know, there are like things placed into your mind that it's making your mind manipulating and believe that you are ascending, but you are not. So everything that is coming from the mind, guys, you'll have to question, you know, because the path is from your heart consciousness. This is why all these interdimensionality beings, you know, are teaching the path of the heart. And is, you know, some people don't know what the path of the heart is. They think, oh, do I need to feel compassion and love right now? It's like, no, you cannot force yourself to feel something that probably you never experienced. It's about understanding that your heart is connecting to your physical body, and through your heart consciousness, you can experience all spectrum of emotions and feelings, yeah? And that's the gateway, that's the stargate, that, you know, all these teachings and frequencies and your soul coming through, you know, is the path of heart consciousness. So you can trust your heart, and when you trust your heart, you trust your intuition, you trust the frequency that's flowing through you, you trust that wherever you go, you are safe. When there are like interferences, because, you know, all these third dimensional false light technologies are working through the mind, and interferences are happening through the mind. And why the mind? Because the mind is easily programmed. And we have seen like the subconscious mind has so many programs and templates and so on. So they are kind of playing with that grid, yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the journeys of the heart, you know, and it's about exploring who you are and understanding and being patient, because you cannot force yourself evolving, you cannot force yourself becoming, you cannot force yourself embodying who you are. But what you can do is just accept yourself where you are. And that's beautiful, because this is when, you know, with acceptance comes, you know, accessing your purity and your heart and your love, and it's incredible, you know, when you are in a state of acceptance.
Thank you, thank you. So one of the things that Livia just mentioned was encouraging us to trust our heart, that our heart is the place to start. How do I trust my heart? I would assume you would believe that I don't want to put her belief into your mouth. So if you think we shouldn't trust our heart, let us know.
What was the original question?
If we are called to trust our heart, and we have had these challenging experiences where I would assume a lot of us go, that's not something I should trust. I shouldn't trust that, because it's not a safe thing to trust. It's going to lead me astray, right? How would I trust my heart? How do I go about trusting my heart? How do I cultivate that?
How long do we have?
I'll give you like 3 minutes.
I don't have a simple answer, honey. I'm sorry. Because I think I'm going to be buying into like pop psychology and give you like a cute little Target slogan. I think to trust our hearts, it requires presence. It requires a relaxed mind. You know, it requires a lot of the things that I spoke about on the talk. It requires us to pause and feel our feelings and be of service. And I think when you create a karmic momentum that is less about me, mine, and I, and much more about we and caring for other people, then I think there is like a trust that you feel held by life. Yeah, because, you know, when you study, like, is it intuition, is it instinct, or is it just an inflamed gut? Like, it's so, the fine line is so, it's really hard to know. Is this neurosis or is it God speaking? Is it, you know, so it's like, is this an angel or is this like, so it's hard in my vernacular, and forgive me if I'm offending anybody, in my training, my study, self-study and faith tradition, we try to have a very simple language to discern from what to trust and what to not. What we can trust on is our samayas, our vows, to be of service, to care for other people. So when our thinking is very muddled with me, mine, and I, how can I get something for me? How can everything I do be about my grandiose, boost, make it all about self? Then that's when you know that you're not on a path. I believe the path of the heart, to use your vernacular, which it's very beautiful. Thank you. I think it's altruistic. And you know, the head of our lineage, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and partner with all these scientists from Harvard, what they've studied is that happiness really comes from helping other people. That being happy at the top by yourself, it's a very fleeting experience. But when you share happiness with other people, it multiplies. And that's when you really cultivate this happy chemistry, and you can feel so, and I think you hear the whispers in that moment. You know, it's like going underneath the noise of our neurosis and all of inflammation to hear the whisper. It requires radical choice. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's helpful because it requires like more context, and I think it's kind of individual. But I think the whisper of the heart is very altruistic. It's very like not me, mine, and I, but very much like how can this be of benefit to all beings? And the idea of put my mask on first before caring for other people, it really points to a cultural sickness that the heart, when it speaks, the bodhisattva vow, what we practice in our faith, it's very much about caring for other people as a way of caring for self. So I hope that's helpful.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So as I listen to both of you, I'm amazed. But I actually don't have an answer. So what I mean by that is I'm becoming more and more disconnected from the human experience. So the idea of trusting the heart is a little weird for me because it's a knowing that's inside of me, which is different. And my team doesn't teach process, even with me. So I don't have an answer to the question that hasn't already been beautifully stated by both of you. Thank you.
Can you bring this healing to so many people? Your impact is growing and growing and growing. And, but I hear from all of you in some level that we are sovereign beings creating our own reality, and that we are to kind of look within ourselves. How do we do that when there are so many people like yourselves who are simultaneously kind of saying, follow me, right? Follow what I'm teaching. How do we navigate that as seekers when, there's a million people saying, follow me, right? Including you guys.
Yeah.
Right? And yet you're telling us that we're sovereign, right? I believe both can be true. I don't think it's an either or, right? How do we navigate that?
So for me, my team will, when you show up, they want you to leave. They don't want you to stay around. They want you to get what you need from this particular person and move on to the next one that's going to help you in your journey. The idea of you sticking with one particular individual for your entire process isn't appropriate. So it's shift and move. As you change, as your frequency changes, you should align yourself with the next one who can, again, move you up and up and up. So it's continual shift. And use your discernment. When it doesn't feel right, it's time to go.
Did you have a word of that?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
Don't follow me. That's my word. But I like what you said. Do you have another question?
I just want to give each of you a moment to give a message of encouragement. Just a few sentences of, so many of these people have been with us today, and I'll leave with a final message of encouragement of my own. But if there is a message of encouragement that you want to share with these amazing friends, one of the things, I don't know if you guys saw it up on the screens, but that I really desired for you to feel today was that no one belongs here more than you. No one belongs here more than you, right? No strangers. We can all connect. We're all on the same level. We're all growing and learning, right? So what encouragement would you give us today?
Forgive everyone and everything. Literally. The common denominator across every of the top major faith traditions is one: forgiveness. Forgive everything, forgive everyone. It is awful to go through trauma and cause trauma and feel the regret and the remorse, and then just forgive. Forgive it all. Like, don't hold on to anything. Nothing, literally. Because it will come to bite you in your ass at some point. So just forgive, forgive, forgive. As my dear friend Elena Brower wrote in her new book, Hold Nothing. Yeah, so that's my words. And I just also want to say, to echo what you said too, we know the texture of truth in our body. We know when we hear truth, we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So follow that, you know? And keep graduating, keep graduating, keep graduating. And not to go against what you said, but repeat the practice, repeat it. We're in such a culture of novelty. We scroll for something new. We log on to Netflix for something new. Everything is something new. We go to the restaurant, what's the special? Everything in our lives is so driven to novelty, novelty, novelty. But the ancient principles that we're all teaching here, it's very simple. Repeat the practices over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then something will unravel there. But if I can leave you all with one thing is forgive, hold nothing. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm deeply trauma-informed from working with former slaves and homeless youth, but I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's not that big of a deal. Forgive it all.
Beautiful. That was so, that I can feel it in my heart. Thank you. Yes, so, you know, you asked earlier, it's like, how can we actually encourage people to move from seekers to self-mastery? You know, how we can actually encourage them to not follow others when at the same time be sovereign, right? Like what sovereignty truly means, right? So, everything in your reality, every person that's coming your way, every event, situation, it's a mirror. You know, we are mirroring each other, and we are this beautiful co-creative experience to actually see ourselves through different mirrors, of creation. And I feel like everyone, even myself, you know, I don't consider myself enlightened, or the Arcturian Council of Light made sure that they wiped out all identities and my ego and third-dimensional values, and they let me be a pure vessel of light for them to stream through. So it's also for us, you know, and for any of us, we are always learning. We are a student on this life. We will finish this life transitioning on physical, and we will still learn. This doesn't make us a follower. It makes us, you know, an explorer. We are exploring consciousness. I am an explorer. I love to see myself through the different mirrors of existence and access more of who I am, and that's my greatest joy and satisfaction in life. And I feel like what I want to share with this is that allow yourself to understand yourself through, you know, different mirrors of your consciousness, like how are you as a self-master or a master or ascended masters? How are you as a, you know, as a seeker? Like let yourself to see yourself through the full spectrum, and don't judge and don't discard who you are, because all aspects, all these little aspects, you know, it's so interesting how in the third dimension we see everything in hierarchy and good and bad, and I want to become more, but what about, you know, the version of yourself when you are a little less than who you are? Love all aspects of yourself and allow all these fragments and aspects of yourself be fully integrated, because only when you do that, you'll become whole. And this is what we want. And, you know, it's interesting, we have this tendency to look back and it's like, whoa, you know, if I would have had this mindset 5 years ago, I would have done this, this and that, and maybe now I'm not as evolved and I'm not as far as others. And we have this, you know, tendency to compare our lives with others, and that's not the point. We are missing the whole point of our existence. Like the whole point of our existence is to access aspects of yourself and love every part of you. Every little part of you. every aspect of you, every age, oh my God, like time is passing so fast. Like, don't lose yourself into this process of linearity, trying to become and achieve and chase goals. And I want to be a master today. You know, let yourself be and let yourself embody and love yourself fully. Because only then in the present moment you realize how incredible this gift of life truly is. Instead of like, you know, arriving at 90 years old on your, you know, in a hospital and you put your last wish and you're thinking then it's like, wow, what was this point of existence? And then you transition on physical, you understand everything. But like, I feel the purpose of this existence right here, right now, is to allow ourselves to experience of all aspects of ourselves in the depth of who we are in our existence, and to just love every bit of ourselves in every given moment. And, you know, even in the moments where we experience trauma and we cannot forgive, just love that version of yourself. You know, like, it's not only about the positive spectrum of emotions, about everything. So, you know, if I want to let you with something today is explore your wholeness. Like, what do you mean to be whole? What do you mean to be sovereign? What do you mean to be loved and be loved, you know, fully and completely? And I feel like if you get into this, you'll definitely taste the essence of existence.
Thank you.
And then, boom, that's it.
Thank you, Livia. Thank you. Ken, do you have a word of encouragement or wisdom that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, so you're not broken. You really aren't broken. You are perfect inside. When you do that inner work and you begin to discover who you really are, you'll recognize it. There are distortions in your field, your energetic field. It creates the emotions. It creates the idea that you're not whole. The inner work will release that. And that's what they say. You're not broken.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Will you give them a hand? Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Yeah. This can stay here. I want to invite you as just a final moment to close your eyes and place your hands over your heart. Take a big deep breath in, allowing that vibration to flow through your body on the exhale. As your hands are over your heart, may you know more than anything today that you are loved. You are loved. You are loved by every one of the speakers here today, every one of the exhibitors. You are loved by the people around you. You are loved by your family and friends, albeit as best as they can, imperfectly. They love you. And may you know that the universe loves you. It is emanating throughout all of time and space that you are loved. And may you take that love out into your neighborhoods, your cities, your states, wherever you've come from, and share that. To look other people in the eyes with your heart wide open, and that your presence in their life would emanate love, that they would feel your love and know your love. Why? Because you are experiencing that love for yourself first. You breathe it in with me. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you guys.